Use the recycle stick to push it hard. Very good. Right, good.
To the list of people that we've got on net tonight, VK7 Papa Alpha Lima Paul, VK7 Zulu Papa Echo,
VK7 Zulu
Papa Delta Phil, VK7 Kilo Papa Charlie Peter,
VK3 Zulu India
Papa, VK7 Hotel Bravo Romeo, VK3 Bravo Tango Victor, VK7 Alpha Lima Bravo and VK7 Hotel Alpha Mike. Right, now Paul, VK7 Papa Alpha Lima. The antenna which I'm using here is basically a dipole, except it's not a half wave. It's a double extended ZEP. It's like a dipole, but I feed it directly with open wire feeder. And when I say open wire feeder, basically I've brought the feeder go over the roofs of different sheds here before they come in the window. And I forget who made the comment about coax much easier to get through a window or a wall. That's quite right, than two single wires. Mine are just two hard-drawn copper wires that I keep in parallel, like railway lines. And there is virtually no loss at all. But Paul, you're quite right about the loss being there in coax. So if you're using coax, try and get the best quality coax that you can get. The downside of not using coax is what happens when it gets through the window here, and that is it goes into a balanced antenna matching unit. Now, a balanced antenna matching unit, when the power goes from the rig into the balanced antenna matching unit, it goes through a
This is reception on a 1 regenerative receiver with the LM36 audio amp chip.
Version 6. Interesting. I like the idea of going portable, and the way you're putting it together is very good. Right. We'll go down the list again, see if anybody else has got any comments about antennas and feed lines. But yeah, I've been using open wire feeders for a very long time now. Having said that, of course, I've got RG213 coax going up to the 4-element Yagi on top of the tower, which of course is steerable, and I have no problem with global contacts at all. In fact, I don't have any problem with global contacts down on 40 metres using this double extended ZEP, which is cut for 80 metres, which gives me some gain on receive and on transmit theoretically. Right, Paul, over to you, and then you pass it down to ZPE, Peter, and we follow the sequence. VK7 Papa Alpha Lima, VK7 Tango Alpha Zulu, over.
No, very interesting. No, you explained a lot to me, that's for sure, but I was always thought on open ladder line, there was no loss, and there was no, what do you call it, like with coax cable, you get something that comes down the side where you've got to put a ballon or all that sort of stuff on it, but I didn't think that really happened with the ladder line, and yes, you may go in ladder line like it was the way I look at it.
I'm winding up KWB.com, because I no longer have that call sign registered. to allow me time to change those various emails that I have on that around, but I've registered a domain 5VK, so just the number 5VK.com.au. So yeah, I thought he put that up on the Killer Dead post, but yeah, you might see that. That would be the email address to use, etc. So
interesting. I've been working
very easily from here, which has been interesting. I live in hope that one of these days I'll end up with a setup where I can hit Mount Arthur direct from here, regardless of ducting. But it's a 300 kilometre across the water. Pretty much got line of sight, so yeah, that's one thing that maybe work on at some stage in the future. My ladder line at the moment, my open wire feeder, because I don't have a balanced matcher, comes down to the shack wall and into a one-to-one balance, and then through the shack wall to a T-match, home-boat T-match antenna matching unit before the rig. But I'm in the process of, well, I have been for quite a while. It's a stalled project, this is, because I've got to wind another coil, but I'm in the process of building a balanced matching unit on the design of the Aneki, which is a German balanced matching unit, which is a little bit superior to the Johnson Viking matchbox. And I've sort of researched that and gleaned as much information, and I'm building one of those along those lines. So the biggest problem there was the first capacitor, the first variable capacitor in that circuit, the same as the Johnson Viking, is a double differential capacitor, which you just can't get hold of short of wrecking an existing unit. So I actually built one. I bought a fairly large variable capacitor and dismantled it, and then proceeded to isolate the stators from the frame by running threaded nylon instead of the brass bars, and then isolated various sections of those stators, and the rotor itself I cut in half, drilled and tapped it, and put a nylon spacer in the middle to split the stator up, and then reversed some of the vanes to get the double differential capacitor. So that was an interesting little project too. So I'm now at the stage where it's functioning on 80 all the way through to 10, but I need a bit more inductance for 160. So the Aneki was only ever designed to work 80 to 10, and so I've decided I want to be able to work 160. So I've got the former made up. I've got a jig for winding coils. I actually use my spit, my roasting spit. I've got a big one for doing barbecuing with, and I've made a jig up that goes on that, runs at about 3 revs a minute, and it's just beautiful for winding coils. And you just run the wire out behind you across the paddock and stand next to it and feed it on very gently, and it does a great job. But I've got the wire, I've got the jig made up with the right former. I've just got to get my bum into gear and actually do it. But yeah, so anyway, that's been an interesting thing to do. But a balanced matching unit definitely would help reduce losses there. I must admit, I've been pleased with the way the current setup works, but I'm sure I can squeeze a little bit more out of it with a balanced unit, and it's the challenge of building something like that. Okay, VK7HPR, VK3ZIP. VK3ZIP, VK7HPR is group. Yeah, okay, then tonight we're looking at you, Nick, 059 approach. VK7HPR also, VK7ZIP and yes, I'm only running 50 watts there, Peter. And Phil, you're a 5.9 plus 30, 7 kpc, Peter, 5.9 plus 25, seeking 30. 3 ZIP, Zora, you're 5.9 plus 35 to me, very good signal into northern Tasmania there, mate. VK3, VTV, you're a 5.9 plus 30. Obviously I wrote down 20 there, but they've changed it to a 30, so you'll either come up there or at some point.
Just like you will.
That's not a criticism, it's just making you aware that there's a bit of noise sneaking in there somewhere around. And of course, Rodney, you've got the dogs there keeping you company, so they're creating quite a bit of a racket. Coax will get Coax, it depends on what's happening with the antenna. You're altering your unbalance your balance to an unbalanced, for a ballon or whatever. But, the way I look at it is if you've got coax and you've got a high SWR, you've got loss. So let's say you've got a 40 metre dipole, that you've got an internal tuner that's inside, or matching unit, you're gonna have issues. That's the idea of the open feeders there, Paul. So you can overcome those losses, of course, with more expensive coax, but that's just it would be cheaper in the long run just to use a wire feeder. That antenna of mine, Nick, I'm having, I go on the 15 metre internet on a Saturday afternoon, and I find myself competing with VK7XX, who's got a 4-element quad, and I'm still can sometimes outperform him with global contact, so that's interesting, for having a wire that works from 80 metres through to, we will turn up on 10 metres, but it's interesting that it will perform quite well on 15 metres. I think that's covered all the notations that I've got here anyway, but I thought I'd comment, the comment about RF travelling on the outside of the cable, I'll cross that out because Phil actually did comment about that. That's he's flying with multi-cores, he can introduce losses. VK3 VTV, I'll put it over to you, Kieran. This is VK7 HPR.
VK7 HPR, VK3 VTV, I see that. At Rodney's house, the boss has come, Chris Davis come home. So he might be off the tee when he gets called. Yeah. And the old problem always been that how what guards of antennas, I basically just chuck something up and see if it works. I work with him. VK3JK calling.
Yes, okay, Clive. Sorry, I think my setting might have been a little bit to be desired there, but...
Listening on when I first got there, this evening, 40 metres was just moving up a block.
Which was good, but I didn't get the answers. But it was really, there was pile-ups everywhere, so...
But what I did notice the other day was that antenna I was using last week. That was about a 13 metre vertical bit of wire, and I just hooked that up to the code and 895 or whatever, the auto-tune antenna. And that's the one I was talking to you on. It was pretty weak. You couldn't really hear me on 80. It was struggling. On 20, it was just cracking. As you'd expect, it's about 5/8 or 3/4 of the wavelength. And the other morning I heard a few and went along past the US. I spoke to someone in Spain and then France. All short pass. This was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was like 5/8, 5/7, 5/8. So that was my report. And then that guy in Florida popped up and he was hearing me loud and clear as well. So
I'll keep that in mind for 20 metres, I reckon. But either that or just experiment with this half wave, just a half wave vertical with this Unan on 20 and see how that compares as well. You were so returning. Yeah, I have a half
wave vertical to 20, which I haven't put up for a while, and I should. It's 3 bits of wire, each 5 metres long. One of them goes upward, and 2 of them go sideways as radials, and it works very well. It tunes, well, it doesn't tune, but it's a flat SWR across the whole band, and it's low angle of radiation, and yeah, it works really well. I haven't put it for a while, I really should. At 5 metres, I don't use any kind of balun on it. I don't believe it needs one. You could do, put it on yard or one-to-one. In the air, and once you get an understanding of it, the difference between a balanced and an unbalanced, then you'll understand why we treat it. It's got my head when I was at Thomas to the void. Why do we say a balanced antenna with unbalanced coax? Well, why do we treat an unbalanced antenna? Waffle waffle. Over here, Rodney. Great net tonight. VK7HAM, VK7ALB.
Yeah, thought Rodney had gone. He put up a little message on the Discord channel, and nice picture you put up, Kieran, of your efforts on working on the capacitor. That's really good. Yeah, I've done the same in the past myself, but my balanced antenna matching unit has 2 variable inductors, 2 roller coasters, and I use a big Russian vacuum capacitor on one side and an air spaced on the other, or I'll even put my extra capacitors, particularly when I'm tuning down on 160, to get it all matched up with a couple of what we call doorknob capacitors, which I'll put a picture up of, and also have the couple of crop clips on it so that I can clip it on the output or the input depending on how the antenna's behaving. I'm sure, Paul, you're going to be completely confused with everything that's been said. But Peter is right. ALB in terms of if you can get to grips with the theory, then the world opens up. Otherwise, the other alternative is to get yourself an Uncle Alma who can come and look at the antenna, who's had practical experience with antennas, and make some suggestions. But yeah, look, coax, the lower in frequency, the less losses you're going to get. But once you start getting up into VHF, UHF and above, yeah, it can hit really hard, and then you need to get specialist cable. All right, well, we'll make the next one very quick, and we'll make it the 7-3 round because time is getting away. But as I've got a little note from Rodney, he's no longer there. So listen, we'll make this the 7-3 round, and great, interesting topics tonight. Paul, if you or if anybody else wants to be able to join the Discord channel on your computer or iPad or tablet or phone, please jump onto qrz.com and either send me or Phil, who is the system operator, if you like, who manages the Discord channel. Please send him an email, VK7ZPD, and ask for access to the Discord channel, because there's a lot of photos that are put on there and interesting comments, etc., etc. Tonight the photos are, there's a photo I put up initially of a Pixie 2-transistor transmitter receiver. I put up a picture of putting a pair of switches together so that instead of two 4-pole switches with two on and off, if you like, or switching toggles, I've linked them together to be able to make it 8-pole double throw. And then there's photos from Zorro of his BitX transceiver that he's put together. There's a photo of the waterfall on Phil VK7s ZPD's display, and Kieran's also modifications to a big airspace capacitor to make it a differential capacitor, double differential capacitor. So there we are. Right, we'll go down the list, say goodnight, and we'll close the net. VK7 to Power Alpha Lima, VK7 Tango Alpha Zulu. Oh dear, well we'll put you on as tail end Charlie unless you've got something that's earth-shattering to tell us. Have a quick word, Ross, and then pass it over to Paul, VK7PAL. Go ahead.
Yeah, roger there, thanks Nick. I sat out in the chair to watch the weather.
Here's the next thing I know, so I can look at the time.
Anyway, being a mile north is a bit on that bed. VK7PAL, VK7AL.
Thanks, Ross. Must be very tracking colours, I do say. Quite entertaining. Trying to say